Welcome back to the Born Bred podcast. This is episode number 7. We are your hosts, Brendan Gallagher.
And Maria Lynn. Oh, this is me. Be sure to check out our sponsor, Haunting Hill Winery, located in Stonewood, right off of I-79. Go to hauntinghill.com or call 304-476-9353 to schedule your bachelorette party, work party, cocktail party, all kinds of parties, or to just have a nice wine tasting. Thanks for listening.
I can feel your lies, they're coming around. The further I get from you, the closer I get to who I am. The further I get.
You can tell we're getting through the midway point of season number 1.
It's more than midway.
Yeah, we're more than
We're
midway.
just going to do one more after this one.
Right. So,
And then we're going to take a break for the summer.
Yeah.
And come back full force in September with your season 2.
right.
A little bit longer.
Yeah. So, thank you, first of all.
So if you want to sponsor season 2, you can email us at editor@bornandbredmusic.com or hit us up on Facebook or Instagram.
Yeah.
We would love to have your sponsorship.
We would. All right. So, we are, like we said, we're in episode 7. We're winding down on season 1, and we're kind of amazed at
So amazed.
the the response we've gotten to a lot of things lately, and the response has been overwhelming to a lot of our content and a lot of what we're doing.
I'm overwhelmed.
And we really appreciate you guys checking everything out. But we still keep getting asked similar questions over and over again. And I think that people refer to those as frequently asked questions. So we're actually going to take some time here to tackle a few questions that we see pretty often, either through
You didn't want to say frequently again?
no. We either see them on our social media posts, we get emails, direct messages, and so we just figure we take a few minutes here to tackle a lot of the things we get asked. So the first question, and I'll let you take this one, is how do I get my music on the Born and Bred Spotify playlist?
This one is a very, very, very complicated answer. You just ask us. Seriously, you could email us at, again, editor@bornandbredmusic.com. And, pick what you think is your best song. We typically do 1, maybe 2 songs per artist. So pick the one that you think really should be on there. It would be easier, I shouldn't say easier, preferable if you tell us the one you want on there versus sending us an entire album. That's not to say we won't listen to the whole album, but I think it would serve you better if, the one you kind of consider the one you're trying to push would be good for us to put on there. You could also reach out to us on social media via Facebook or Instagram.
And while we're talking about the Spotify playlist, we do want to let you know that we are working to take that playlist and duplicate it on other streaming services, so that we are tackling, different ways for people to generate revenue. We know that Spotify is not necessarily the greatest anymore. Really hasn't really been the greatest. But we know that there are other streaming platforms that might be more beneficial to artists to be on.
But if you're listening to this podcast on Spotify, just kidding. We love Spotify.
Yeah. Thank you, Spotify.
Thank you, Spotify.
So anyhow, moving on to the next question. We have the Born and Bred concert series that happens at the Robinson Grand. And that's going to be evolving a little bit in how it's done. We're actually going to be doing that twice a year, once in the spring and once in the fall at the Robinson Grand. And people always ask us, hey, can my band play the Born and Bred concert series? The answer is yeah, probably, possibly, but when, I don't know. The concert series are planned out quite some time in advance. And so because of that, there's a list, and we have over 1,100 bands in the state of West Virginia making original music. And we would love to give every single band the opportunity to play the Born Bred concert series. But the reality is, it's only twice a year. There's a few bands on each show. So it would take us quite some time to get through every band in the state. That doesn't mean you don't ask. That doesn't mean don't submit. That doesn't mean we're not checking you out to find out. It just means I can't say when and if that's going to happen. We would love to have, every band play, but it's going to take some time for us to get through all that.
I will say this is a little bit of a side note that will lead us into the next FAQ. If you don't have music recorded, you are probably not going to get added to the Born and Bred concert series.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Moving forward, yeah.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Yeah. So the first best thing you can do is get good at promoting yourself.
Yeah. Yeah, we need to see if you're messaging us and I go to your social media and I don't see active promotion of your shows, active content creation. We've had some bands be on the Born and Bred concert series in the past that I wasn't too thrilled. And not just that, and lots of things we do. But I wasn't thrilled with their ability or inability to promote the show. They didn't share. They didn't talk about it.
Yeah, it's important that everybody's sharing
it. We will promote it. Do not worry about that. We are going to promote the heck out of it. We do. But I'm going to work with artists that will also promote the heck out of it.
Right.
So, yeah. So then, and then you need to have recorded music for us to put you on this, right? So where can I record without leaving the state? This answer is
not here.
Yeah. We do not record bands. The Born and Bred studio is a live venue. So it's for we've had movies recorded here and things like that. We are going to be doing some live video type things. It's not really a music recording studio. It's different than that.
It's a studio in the sense of it's a creative space.
Yes. So with that said, there are amazing studios all across the state of West Virginia. I know that in the southern part of the state, there are a few down there. I don't know them all off the top of my head name-wise, but I know Big River Media is down there. I know up here in the Clarksburg area, you've got a bunch. Zach McCord with McCord House Recording in Clarksburg is a brand new. Now, he's not brand new to producing, but his studio that he just opened is brand new. Massive. It's probably one of the bigger studios in the state, I would imagine. And he works with artists from all across the country and amazing stuff there. I know we've got Brandon Wood Music, Brandon Wood Productions up here in the Fairmont area. Scotty Conrad's doing stuff in the Fairmont area. Up in Morgantown, you've got WVU has their program there with Josh Schweiger, where you can record there. Actually, a guy that we just featured, Trevor Cook, is doing some production recording for artists if they're interested. I know Wheeling has some studios. So, they're all across the state. If you just Google recording studio and near you, you'll find something. You do not need to leave the state. And I'm going to say this. Having the word Nashville recording artist beside your band name means absolutely nothing anymore. Now, there was a time where that meant something. It doesn't mean anything anymore. With the access to production materials and production quality being, you can have it in your living room now. There's no need to go there. Now, you still need to work with somebody who knows what they're doing. You can have all the gear in the world, but if you're not working with a producer who actually knows how to use the gear, well, that's no good. So, but there, like I said, there are studios all across the state. You do not have to leave here anymore. I've heard bands in this state put out amazing recordings from right here. And when you've got big artists like Charles Wesley Godwin and Philip Bowen, all these people working with producers here in the state, that tells me you do not have to leave here anymore.
Okay, great. Our next FAQ is Born and Bred primarily featuring country music? And the answer is no.
No, the answer is no. I mean, gosh, I would.
There is a lot of country music in the area, but there's a lot of every other genre as well. So we cover all of it. So if you are newly paying attention to Born and Bred and you think that whatever you're doing doesn't fit, if you are doing music in West Virginia, you fit.
Yep, absolutely.
So whatever that is, classical, reggae,
Um,
pop,
glam rock,
Glam
Jossie.
rock.
Like, I mean, there's so much amazing music being made in the state from all different genres: rap, glam rock, just, I mean, all across the board. I know in our new releases that we just put out this past week, there was 2 hip hop albums featured on that list. So yeah, it's we are not exclusive to any type of music. We want to cover it all. Since launching Born and Bred, I have become a major fan of a lot of what's happening in the folk scene in West Virginia, the bluegrass scene, and then just the pop rock. There's a lot of really good pop rock bands.
And that having been said, you may be doing something in the musical world in West Virginia that's not recording music. Maybe you're a music teacher. Maybe you're teaching kids how to play music. Maybe you're doing music therapy. If that is the case, we want to hear from you. We want to tell your story. So shoot us an email at editor@bornandbredmusic.com to tell us more about who you are and what you do and how you're making an impact in the state with music, through music.
Absolutely. So music adjacent things. We will cover all of that. Hey, Maria.
Yes, Brendan.
Does a band need a website in 2024?
Okay. This is my answer to this question, and I'm interested to see if you agree with it because we did not pre-discuss this.
Yeah.
For me, I would take the approach of the mindset of dress for the job you want.
Mm-hmm.
So if your goal is to be touring nationally, then yes, I would build a website, get all your stuff on there, make it look good. If your goal is to just is more of a simple one and to just play more locally at bars, then you might not need to spend the money on a website. So I would say your mindset should be dressing for the job you want. And if you're wanting to go big, then yeah, you need that website. If you're being intentional about keeping it simple and local, then you might not need one and you might suffice with a Facebook page.
This is an outrage.
You disagree?
No, I don't disagree at
Okay.
all. No, I think that's actually very well put. And I would say though that you need some sort of quick link that you can put out. So whether that be a link tree, a bio site, whatever that you have that you can collect all of your social media, because you still need to be able to show a venue, hey, here's my stuff and this is what I have, but it doesn't have to be a full website. No. It can be as simple as a link tree that has Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and then a link to a few of your like YouTube videos. And if you're on Spotify or any of that, a link to that. It can be as simple as that.
But if you're dreaming big and you're wanting to go big and your mindset is, well, it's 2024, we don't need a website anymore. Does Taylor Swift have a website?
I believe so.
Does Sierra Farrell have a website?
I believe so.
So yeah, if you're wanting to go big, you still need a website.
Every major artist out there has a website.
They sell merch on their website. Yep. I mean, the tour dates are all on their website. So
yeah. All right. These last 2 questions we'll kind of do together. So we get asked, where is Born and Bred based out of, and who runs Born and Bred? So Born and Bred is actually just based here in Shinston. And Shinston, West Virginia, which is north central. If you don't know exactly where, that's Clarksburg area. And it's about 15 minutes from the interstate, from I-79. And we just, this is where we've always been based out of. It's where we started, and we're very happy to be here in Shinston. There is a lot of great things that kind of gives us a good base to operate out of, because we're kind of able to get to everything within 2 hours, and so that's nice.
And we have a lot of support from our city council, city manager.
Yeah.
Just it's a good community
Yeah,
to be in.
the community itself is very supportive of what we're doing with Born and Bred. And so then also we have the physical, like we said earlier, the Born and Bred studio. Now, who runs Born and Bred? We've been asked this multiple times. Like,
We still don't know.
is it, are we owned by some company? Nope. This is Brendan Gallagher and this is Maria Lynn. And we just decided to do this because we cared and we wanted to give an opportunity for artists to be heard. There's nobody behind the scenes. There's nobody funding us outside of sponsorships. There's nobody, trying to tell us how to create content or what we're doing. We just do this because we want to. So when you ask who runs Born and Bred, it's the two of us. And
every now and then we'll get an email that'll be something to the effect of, I talked to one of your representatives, and we're always kind of chuckle like, no, you talked to us.
Yeah, we are the representatives.
Yeah, you talked to one of two people or nobody, pretty much.
So, that's a little bit more about who we are. Again, we want to thank everybody who's been tuning in lately. It's been pretty impressive to watch the growth. But we thought maybe we should put a little bit more out there about who we are and what we get asked a lot about, and so that you guys know what you're signing up to be a part of. So again, just thank you. And if you have any other questions that you're curious about with Born and Bred, drop them. If you're listening to this through our social media channels, drop that question down in the comment section, and we will try to answer that to the best of our abilities. And again, just thank you guys for coming along the journey. And you got anything else?
No, stay tuned for the next episode, wrapping up season 8, and we have more interviews with artists planned for season 2. Did I just say season 8?
I don't think you said season 8.
I don't know.
Episode 8.
Episode 8.
Episode 8 for season 1.
I'm not even sure what I said. But if there are other things you'd like to hear us talk about in season 2, I've given the email address out about 12 times so far, but I'll say it one more time, editor@bornandbredmusic.com. Feel free to shoot us thoughts, ideas, questions, whatever stuff you'd like to hear about.
Yep. And we will see you for episode 8.